This is a Tape Deck podcast.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world tonight. A La Jolla man clings to life at a university hospital.
We now interrupt your regularly scheduled podcast stream to bring you some breaking news.
Breaking news!
Breaking news. Diana actually wanted to record a podcast for the first time ever. I, suggested it.
And
You'll
did
never
all the
see
notes.
it again.
Yes.
I know she wrote all of the notes. It's insanity.
What is happening?
So we had a huge announcement today that we just wanted to break in and talk about. Erin,
Yeah.
what was the news?
So, I mean, not that we haven't been talking about it forever, but we've been waiting for Race Disney to come back. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Race Disney?
They rebrand it. Race Disney rebrand it as Run Disney.
Run Disney is back.
So weird. Run Disney released finally some news.
Stunning
Which is
news.
unbelievable.
Stunning news that Wine and Dine is coming back in 2021.
That was shocking.
November 4th through the 7th weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Opening for Club Run Disney Gold and Platinum registration July 6th. That is
next week.
7 days from now,
Yes.
guys. That's how fast this announcement turnaround is.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I could not have been more wrong. I was like, it's not coming back to 2023. I could not have been more wrong. As per usual, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
They definitely kept it close to the vest.
They
that's for
really
sure.
did. I mean, obviously, they've been trolling people for the last 2 weeks because you had those 2 weeks of those dream big posts or a dream without a what was
Goal
it?
or
A goal
something.
was
Yeah,
whatever
whatever.
that post was. But either way, they've been teasing it. They've been trolling us, and we all just thought they were trolling us.
Yep. So we got Wine and Dine. We got
Marathon weekend, January 5th to the 9th. Princess, February 24th to the 27th. And then
My
a
fave.
brand new springtime surprise, March 31st to April 3rd.
which is they said will be a rotating theme.
Yeah. So
And and distance, so it's just kind of a whatever they decide to do.
Yeah. Well, I think
Hot
the
as hell.
longest it could possibly be is a half at that time of year.
yeah. I mean, it's the replacement for Star Wars weekend, so it'll be that time of year. Easter's super late this year, which is why I think this is super early this year because Easter's not until the 18th, 19th, 20th, something like that in that weekend range. So this is super early.
They used to do Everest around that time.
Oh, yeah.
There was
The
some
Everest challenge.
I saw some hubbub on Facebook today wondering whether they'll bring back, since they're going rotating theme, if they'll bring back a 10-miler or a scavenger hunt. Or
Maybe.
they put Everest was on the little springtime
thing.
So somebody was.
So was Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Ooh.
They could potentially do a night race.
Yeah.
I mean, that would at least help with the heat a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that time of year for sure. Yeah.
That was discussed also in some of the conversation threads that I read.
I mean, although, what is it? Wine and Dine could be 90 degrees too. So
Yeah.
True.
Wine and Dine was really hot. We've done it twice. And we never did it when it was a night race because we're dumb. We should have done it when it was a night race, but we did it when it was hot 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get through the quick registration dates. So we got July 6th for Club Run Disney Wine and Dine, as you said. General registration is the 13th of July, and the virtual races. All of these have virtual races options too, I think, right?
Yes.
Virtual race option is July 16th. Then the marathon weekend, Club Run Disney opens July 20th. General is 27th, and then the virtual race series opens on the 30th of July. And Princess opens August 17th for Run Disney Gold Platinum. General is 24th of August, and virtual races 27th of August. And the springtime surprise, no announcement for registration yet. So
Yeah, it's the only page that doesn't have a ton of extra information
Yeah.
on it. So
I think they'll keep that one tight That would be fun to like even keep tight to have it just be a surprise when you get there.
Well, I kind of wonder if that's
Yeah.
sort of their idea and why they're calling it some springtime surprise.
think
Whether
that's
they're
a cool
gonna
idea.
whether they're gonna keep some of the theming kind of to themselves.
Yeah.
Throughout, although people love the medal releases, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
people run for the medals when they see them because, like, Wine and Dine is one of those races where I don't really consider it that often, but some of the villain medals
They look amazing.
are ridiculous.
Yeah,
That
they
it
look
makes you
great.
want to go, oh, do I want that?
I mean, it's kind of brilliant if you think about it, because they could just capitalize on whatever the hottest IP is
Mhm.
At
at that
time.
time,
Yeah.
Yep.
or whatever nostalgic thing going on, or like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that
and
whole.
They
Uh,
could even bring back like some of like I'm convinced. I'll say it here and then maybe it will happen and I'll wish it into the universe. But I think Run Disney Disneyland is dead. I don't think that's ever coming back.
Yeah, I think so.
I am 100% sure. So
Yeah.
they'll announce it tomorrow that it's coming back. But like maybe they'll even bring back some of the themes they use there. Like there was Pixar, Tinkerbell, Star Wars. They did Avengers. I don't think we
Well,
can do Avengers.
You
They can't do
you can't do
Avengers,
Avengers.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you could do
Oh,
some of the
you could
Avengers,
do the
but
new
not like-
stuff.
you could
Yeah.
do
You
like
could do Guardians.
Yeah.
You could do. I don't know. I don't know what's in the IP. Like,
Yeah, you would have
Yeah.
to
Gotta
be
be very
really careful
specific.
about it. But I saw a lot comparing it to Disneyland because I guess Disneyland, the Disneyland half, is that one? Did that have rotating themes?
yeah, that had rotating themes, and it was Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the one I was thinking of that everyone was talking about. So that's pretty much what people were comparing this to when I was reading today.
Yeah, because our marathon here in Florida is always the Fab Five.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yep.
much. Yep.
The classic,
Never.
which
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy that they keep that one to kind of the classics. So you guys want to run through some of what we thought were the pros of this whole announcement coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I could not believe, and Michael was wrong on this one. I think I saw in our Facebook post. Like, I cannot believe the prices didn't
I agree.
double or triple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Which we had that long. I had multiple conversations and multiple group chats and stuff about this today, and people were like, "Oh my god, can you believe how much more expensive it is?" And so then we'd start doing the research,
Yes.
and it really
It's like the same price. Yeah.
same price because Goofy is $3.90 this go around, and when I looked back up at my old registrations with taxes and fees, I paid $410. So that's right
probably pretty
there,
close,
exactly where it's supposed to be. Marathon we paid $190 for last time.
It's $195.
It's $195.
Yeah.
The only significant jump that I think someone pointed out to me was the 5K went from 75 to 95.
But maybe
I
they're going to
remember
spruce it
paying-
up.
Yeah, it could be. I remember paying 85 for a 5K.
Yeah.
Okay.
That number sticks in my
And
head.
I-
I think we all just have sticker shock because we can't remember because it's been so long since we've
I
done
agree.
a
Exactly.
Run Disney
And
event.
and Dopey, I know you looked up yours from 2018, but Susanna and I were chatting. The one she signed up for that didn't happen in 2021, she said was like $30 more than what they're showing. So with taxes and fees, that's probably pretty accurate.
Pretty about the same. Yeah.
It was like 600, and then she paid like 630ish. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so expensive.
Oh, they're
yeah.
expensive races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I know, and you definitely get premium. The medals are amazing. They put on an excellent event. Everything about it
Yeah.
logistically is great.
I mean,
But man, are those high prices?
obviously, one of the reasons why you pay those premiums has to do with the character stops. I mean, when you think about it, like, right, on the last marathon course, Michael and I stopped at 26 character stops. We got 26 character stops.
Naked.
In
26
naked.
naked character stops.
I mean, you just don't like, so what you're paying for is that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You pay
and
for
so
what you
then,
get.
and then, so to me, that's worth it because you don't have to stand in like these. I mean, you stand in a little bit of a line.
yeah, you're talking like 10 people
But
tops,
comparatively
so,
to
yeah.
going to a park and standing in a line for 2 hours for like a character, I mean,
Yeah.
you really,
100%.
yeah, I mean, you're just getting so
And-
much out of it.
And all the unique ones that like you can only get photos of
Yep.
like, at
Yeah.
races.
There's
like
a
I
lot.
have a
Yeah.
picture with like all of the princes, like
Yep.
5 different princes from one of the races, and I couldn't get that
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
the park.
Totally
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
I think price wise, what they did, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it, is instead of upping the prices of the races, they're trying to ease people over to Club Run Disney.
Yeah, we'll go into the Club Run Disney.
Yeah, but I'll just say, if that keeps the prices where they are, them edging people that way,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, because I'm not going to do that anyway. And it's no like sweat off my back, or
Yeah.
no shot at anybody who wants to do it. It's just I think it's a nice way to keep the races at where they're at,
Yeah.
while them making more money. Which, I mean,
Well, I
it is
also
what
think
it
that
is.
they're partly trying to make a little bit more money by keeping those virtual races open,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
we do have on our pro list, just because if you don't want or you can't make it, or you feel still a little bit uncomfortable with going down
Yeah.
to Disney, at least they're giving you some sort of option to do that virtual and still get the kind of the experience.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to keep open for
So
people.
I think that even into the future, that they should really keep those options for people. Diana, you typed sunrise yoga at the castle for Princess Weekend.
Oh my gosh, isn't that so fun? Like that they've made that available. It used to only be for cast members and Princess Weekend, although it's $95. So I don't know if that's necessarily a pro, but I would be interested in going and doing that a race weekend.
I don't actually know that I knew that was a thing on Princess Weekend for the cast members. So
well, it's not necessarily for Princess Weekend, but they just do that periodically for cast members, and it sells out like immediately. I know when I was a cast member, they would do random things like that. Like we saw like the cast member preview of like the Boo to You parade, and you have to sign up for it, and the sellout was like registering for a Run Disney race, and it sells out immediately.
Yeah.
So that was only something that was offered to cast members. So it's really cool that, you know, us normal people can do it now.
Yeah, that is fun.
I think that's a super fun event for people who like that, and it's like a nice premium to the race. Like, it doesn't add a price to the race for people who don't want to do it, but it's a nice extra event for people who want something extra that weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually were doing that on Alani, but because of COVID, it wasn't going on when we were there, so we were sad. But that was on like our wish list of things we wanted to do at Alani was sunrise yoga.
Does anyone have any other specific pros that they want to mention?
I mean, I have a general one. Like, I know we were kind of giving them crap online about quit teasing us and be better at communicating. This is a substantial announcement.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think this satisfied a lot of what people were just waiting to hear. So, you know.
I mean, at least they didn't
made a lot of people happy.
They didn't tease it. They didn't go one at a time. They just released the whole schedule all at once, said this is how it's going to happen. I mean, there is some on the website about, you know, obviously there's not a lot of information as far as like what the characters are going to look like, what spectatorship's going to look like. It's when you click into the blog post, it was a lot of vagueness. But we now know that they're going to happen, and that's really what people cared about. So we have no idea what the character stops might look like at that time, because obviously they're still not doing character meet and greets. So I think of all of them, November is going to be the one that's going to be the most modified, if modified at all. And then they're going to open things up as they go.
Yeah, I think they're definitely slow playing that, just because they don't know. And like even you mentioned the criteria around like spectators, they're also pretty aloof on the COVID protocols and health and safety. I mean, you know, they said we will address this and we will communicate this as things come out, you know, and
I think it's just going to depend. Yeah.
It's just going to all depend. So, I mean, I feel like they've given a lot of information, but they're also being very cautious.
Yeah. And one of the things that I saw today too was someone was warning people on one of the posts that I was reading through that Wine and Dine weekend, most of the hotels are booked at this point. But Polly just announced that they're reopening. I have a feeling that very soon that's what we're going to get. We're going to get all the announcements.
They're all going to start.
Very slow rolling out. All of the resorts are going to open, and there's going to be places for people to stay.
Well, you got to remember, like, multiple value resorts are closed.
Yeah.
That's a lot of rooms.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That's
like, I think that as those announcements continue to roll in, there's going to be plenty of space for these people who want to sign up for these races to stay.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we were signed up for Pop Century. We had a room at Pop Century in October for the 50th, and we wanted to add on an extra day, and they didn't have any rooms available, so we had to upgrade to a moderate to add an extra day. So they're already, I mean, I guess that's like a huge weekend, but
yeah,
I think people are just so anxious to get down there.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean,
packed.
even for like the time that we're going for my 40th, a lot of those resorts are already started to be booked up. So yeah, I do see why you would be concerned, but I do think that you're going to see the resorts starting to open as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
All right, so we kind of hit the pros.
Yeah.
What didn't we like about this announcement, or what do we think people won't necessarily like about this announcement?
well, no kids races was a thing for some people that I know, just because it's a big family event.
Yeah, I can see that
so
as a
I
negative.
specifically talked to one friend today who said that that's sort of a negative for them.
I guess it's hard because kids can't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that whole issue right now. I would like to see them add a 1 mile kids race that just loops Epcot in the morning. You know what I mean? Just does a loop around.
I'm not actually super familiar with the kids races, other than I know I have a couple friends whose kids do them.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's tough in general though, because then the kids got to get up at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever it is. That's crazy early for a kid.
And I don't know how expensive they are, but I know when I've done a bunch of the 5Ks, not just at Marathon Weekend, but I don't know. I love the Disney 5Ks. I just think they're so fun. But there's always a ton of kids.
Yeah.
And that's really early. Although not little. I think the littlest I saw was like, I don't know, 6 or 7, which is still little.
Yeah, it's still pretty young. Yeah.
Who was I talking to? Laura Duxon I was talking to. She mentioned that all the races for Wine and Dine start at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Which I actually didn't notice right away. So that was one of her. I think I'm not sure whether that was a good thing or a bad thing in her mind, but hopefully that'll go better than Marathon Weekend's 5 a.m. start,
which then started at 6 a.m.
that Marathon Weekend's 5 a.m. start was a disaster.
Oh, complete disaster.
Was it really?
Oh my God, it was such a disaster.
There was a line of traffic. Nobody could get to the start.
Yeah.
The buses were so late that they had to hold the start for like half hour.
It was like 25 minutes before the first corral even went off.
Yeah.
And then
crazy.
they sent the balloon ladies off within like the same amount of time. Like they were trying
They
to
just
move the
blew everybody
corrals
out,
because they were trying to blow everyone out. So the balloon ladies started like 25 minutes earlier than they normally do. So people didn't have time. Yeah, it was.
And that was the super hot year where they, and all that. So it was kind of a pile up of everything.
Yeah,
I like a 5 a.m. start because, especially for like the 5K and things like that, I've always wanted to go back to the room and like take a nap and shower and
before
stuff, and
doing
then like
the
go
day,
to the park. And it gives you time to do that, and then it's just over and it's not as hot.
Yeah.
Dumb question, and I should know this because I ran these races. When does the half usually start? When does the half usually start?
6-ish.
6, right? And then
Marathon was 5:30, but then they moved it to 5.
Yeah. One thing she didn't like was that she likes that they have the virtual option, but that she doesn't support that they exclude Europeans.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. So she doesn't get to do the virtuals.
Oh, that stinks, actually.
Yeah.
God, I'll register and send you the medals.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I guess the other negative, like we were talking about earlier, was the no annual pass or DVC early registration.
Oh, okay.
I can see why the annual pass this time, because there's only a certain limited number of annual pass holders right now because they aren't for sale. Little tiff that they would take away DVC, but I see the point of they're pushing people to run Club Run Disney, which
is where we'll head next after that. With that same thing in mind, there's no travel agent bibs this year.
Yeah. People are really upset about the travel agent bib.
Oh,
I never use a travel agent bib.
Yeah, me either.
So,
I know a lot of people who did, or who couldn't, when you didn't get into the race via the like regular race option, with general registration, then you still had the option to try and find a travel agent bib.
Okay.
So
I will say though, the last couple of years, it has not been super hard to get in.
Last year it was hard to get in.
Yeah, but no, remember it was like a super limited number because it was like during the pandemic.
Yeah, they were going to limit it.
Super
I remember
limited.
that.
No, I didn't get into Goofy the previous year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. Certain things are harder to get in, I guess. Still, yeah.
Maybe my memory's wrong. I don't know. It's been like 5 years in 1 year, so I have no idea.
It's hard to remember.
It's hard to remember. So the big thing, my biggest rant, and this one is actually a real WTF, which is what Diana titled this section.
Oh yeah, I named this section WTF.
Proof of time.
Oh my God.
I even am sore about this. And I'm a pretty average runner. Like, I could possibly even hit this proof of time. And I think it's absolutely bonkers ridiculous that the proof of time has to be a sub-2 half marathon. They have taken away the 10-miler completely. And in order to submit a proof of time, it has to be a half marathon and it has to be a sub-2 half marathon.
Well,
that is a 9:10
actually,
pace.
It's so fast, and it's actually really discouraging. I was texting with some friends today, and they were like, "Well, I guess I don't even have to try for a proof of time anymore because that's so out of my league."
Anna Runs and Coffee said the same thing. I've heard this from a lot of people today. Like I was planning to try and run a good proof of time, and now what's the point?
Yeah, I was the same. I thought I could do faster, and I've got some, and I don't like to publicly put my speed goals out there and put myself on blast, but like I had some kind of aggressive speed goals for the next couple of years, and I was like, oh, I'm actually gonna like do really well and get in good corral, and now I'm like, why am I even gonna like worry about I mean, I guess I could worry about it from like my health and like to run better, right? But like who cares about that, honestly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of it from that end, and that's actually a good point because I was looking at it from the other end where like the proof of time really doesn't matter that much anyway. It's not like the people, because the way the corrals are, yeah, there's faster people up front or whatever, but the people up front aren't going to always run faster anyway, because a lot of times they're just walking through the course anyway, like everybody else, or, run walking it or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
you get into B and then just decide, hey, this is a fun run for me.
Yeah, it's not like the people, it's not like a normal race where the people up front are supposed to be the ones who are going fast and are generally going to go fastest. Like in this one, like I was in A the last time and moved back to B with you. And
I was in C.
Oh, did I move back to C?
Yeah, I've never made it to B.
So I moved back and we just, we casually ran it. We didn't go for any time. So people passed us or we passed people. And, I don't think the proof of time for logistics matters that much with the corrals. But I do agree it's a huge negative that it's not a factor that pushes people to go for something now.
Multiple things. I'd like just to bring it back to Diana because this is what Anna had said about it was that she's been working for a sub-2 half for years and she hasn't been able to get it. And then if she doesn't, like, this just puts salt in the wound because like while she's been working really hard for it and maybe she would have used it for her proof of time, like now, like why is she going to work for that this year? If she misses it, then she's going to be disappointed for two reasons. Mm-hmm. One, she's now missed her proof of time, and two, she missed her goal. Like it's kind of disheartening, and people really, you're taking away people's goal race because now they're thinking to themselves, what's the point? And then on the second end, sorry, Tom, did you want to jump in? Go ahead, jump in.
This is anecdotal, and this is completely what percentage of a Disney half marathon can do that time?
So
sub-2?
No. So I am prepared. I actually looked up the last Wine and Dine because this is for Wine and Dine. So I looked up the last Wine and Dine, and the people that crossed the finish line in a sub-2 made up 8% of the race.
No, not people.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, first of all, audience-wise, I'm talking about the audience that you are with. You have nobody who's actually looking to go that kind of pace.
Yeah.
So why would you force people to then use that as your proof of time if that's not the type of audience that you're going for? Do I agree that to your point, are there probably more than 8% that could do more than that, or do a sub 2? Probably. But they don't want to at Disney.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, that's why the corrals don't matter that much, because people are doing whatever pace they want in whatever corral.
Well, they matter to the people who are back at the Packers, who work their ass off to get their proof of time so that they can get a good corral, so that they can have time to have fun and not be beaten by the balloon ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like, if you've ever run a race with my husband, Thomas Stover,
Oh, God.
and how he behaves when he's in the last corral versus 2 corrals up from the last corral, and just the stress that he feels like in that last corral and how anxious he is.
It's night and day.
It is just, I don't know. It's a better running experience for me, and I'm selfish.
And now they've taken away his goal of trying to get a good proof of time, because now it doesn't matter, because you're just going to get stuck wherever you get stuck.
So what it's going to look like now, and this is just what we're assuming, is the first couple of corrals, depending on how many corrals there are going to be that under 2 in various levels of whatever that corral is, ABC, ABCD, whatever it's going to be. Then the Club Run Disney corrals, and then the peasants in the back.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. That's exactly what it's going to be. Yeah.
That's kind of what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dare you to sweep me. I dare you to approach me with that bus, because we will have words.
All right.
I will say, like when you all did Dopey, when Diana and everybody did Dopey, I guess you all, I naturally got seated in D. I was amazed, and it made for the best experience.
Yeah.
Compared to like the back of the pack kind of situation.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why a lot of people are probably freaking out about right now. Like, well,
no, I agree.
Is it going to be a magical experience? You know what I'm saying?
I agree. And I am a person who might be able to work to hit that proof of time. To be honest, to hit that proof of time, I would really actually have to really work at it, because I've only ever done one sub 2 half marathon, and it was when I was at the best fitness level of my entire time I've been running. So I would have to really actually work for that proof of time. So that's disappointing. And before this gets too long, since this was going to be a quick hit episode, you keep mentioning Club Run Disney.
Yeah.
So with all of this said, is Club Run Disney now worth it?
I think it depends.
Here's the thing. We're supposed to do Dopey in 2023. If all of this stands, I'm going to want to be seated or in the front of the closest to the beginning when I start that full marathon. If the prices are what I think they are, I'm going to have to pay
almost $800. $800.
$800 plus $600 for Dopey.
Yes.
Yeah. $1,400.
So to do this event, I'm going to have to pay $1,400.
Yes.
For 6 medals, 7 medals?
Right now, tier silver, basically you get nothing except for whatever tier 1 pricing is, and I don't know that I've ever found that out.
Maybe they will increase pricing as it gets closer, like other races do, which they've never done before.
Yeah, because they sell out so quickly that there's never a second tier.
They didn't used to, like in the early 2000s, like when I was a CP, like the races didn't sell out. Like they didn't sell it until like close to the race.
Agreed. So tier gold is you get the pre-reg, which is what they're taking away from AP and DVC holders, and now the TA bibs you can't get. So now gold gets you the ability to register 7 days earlier, plus whatever tier 1 pricing is. Guaranteed tier 1 pricing. And that's for $778 or $478. Yeah. So is pre-registration to guarantee you can get into the race worth $500?
No,
not for me.
Tier platinum is corral placement along with the pre-registration and the tier 1 pricing. So now you get guaranteed corral placement behind the proof of timers. And with a sub 2 proof of time needed now, is the $798 worth it?
I'm glad I don't have to make this decision this year because I don't know what I would do. Honestly, I don't know what I would do. Once I see one round of it or what happens for the races this year, I might be able to make a better educated decision.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, I guess I'd have to like really look at this site and see that. But I have two friends who, when they registered for Dopey, they did Henry Higgins' plan. Hal Higgins' plan or whatever he did. But they bought something through like active.com and they paid like $1,200, $1,300 for registration for Dopey and got some training plan and they got access to some event and they had access to some tent or something like that with it. And they felt like it was worth it.
Okay.
Because it took a lot of stress off the race morning. They were in a kind of a nice warm spot. They had kind of all these things.
Which I do actually think Club Run Disney does include some of that stuff besides like your jacket and the gold-plated magnet. You don't really get a gold-plated magnet, guys. Yeah. You get some of that stuff.
Yeah, we did not Club Run Disney, but they used to offer like, I don't know what it was called, but they used to do like breakfast and like tent access.
Oh yeah, the tent. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that for a couple of races, and I mean it was nice.
Yeah.
But
so the club,
you miss like the socialization. So if you have a bunch of friends at the race, you're like in your swanky tent, and then you're not seeing your friends.
Yeah. So you get the extra expo experience, lounge area with convenient pickup packet pickup. Early access to the Run Disney merchandise, upgrade corral placement, guaranteed. Okay, so at the time that this Club Run Disney came out, if you remember way back in 2020, January, there was actually like a lot of like, when this came out, everyone was like, oh, I can't believe they're expecting these people to pay these prices. It's insane. And it was almost a lot of shame going into, if you signed up for this, people were going to shame you for spending that kind of money.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I probably would have. I was so anti Club Run Disney. I'm sure there's I'm sure you could go back on my timeline and see me just ripping it.
And so I spoke to somebody who is a Club Run Disney member today.
Oh, so we have a super secret informant?
We do.
Ooh.
A celebrity friend.
Super secret friend. Talk to us.
So they had said that part of the reason why they signed up originally, because I was kind of curious, like, why did you sign up for it? And they said, well, at the time they were offering it at the expo and you got an extra jacket and some other extra stuff. And so she signed up for the silver tier because she got stuff and she thought it was fun. And then when COVID happened, she called and upgraded to platinum because she was planning to do all the races and it guaranteed her entry to all of the races, which during these times when the popularity of these races is going to skyrocket and everyone is jonesing to get into Run Disney, she wanted to know and have security that she was going to have that pre-race registration.
Yeah, so if you decide for this calendar year, I'm going to do all of the races, it would be worth it at that point.
Yeah, so she's going to do all the races. She's wanted to make sure she could get into all the races she wanted to get into. And the corral placement isn't something that she needs or necessarily thought about, but it's a bonus to her. So to her, it was totally worth it. So she upgraded. She actually went from being silver to going to platinum because she felt like the perks were worth it.
Yeah, I think we have to like step back and think about when it came out. That at that time they were taking things away from the 5Ks and stuff. There was way less characters. There was a lot of things they were stripping away from the races, and it looked like a pure money grab. And
100%.
Also, registration was starting to ebb. It was not anywhere near where it was, where you had to sign up right away. And then they were throwing this on top of it.
Yeah.
At that moment. I think now you're going to see a bit of a resurgence, but you're talking about 4 events are going to be going off, boom, 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 registration-wise, pretty quickly. only so many people are going to be able to sign up for all of them.
People are going to run out of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so now that they've announced this, because this is where the whole Club Run Disney conversation comes in, is it worth it? Because now they've taken away the early registration for the APs, the DVCs, and there's no TA bibs available. And now they're saying that your proof of time has to be a sub 2. So now all of a sudden, does this conversation become, wow, this is more worth it to me than it was before when I didn't realize they were going to take away some of those things. And is Disney really just taking away these things in order to grab the money for Club Run Disney?
Yes, 100%. To answer that question, absolutely.
Is of course, yes.
But also, with what Michael was saying, it was like a different mindset when they first announced it, because they announced the corral thing, but for some reason, and I remember us talking about it on like Team Shenanigans, like everyone thought like the third to the last corral was going to be this. And it was just going to be for like the super, super slow people who just want to walk it can now get like 2 jumps ahead. Because wasn't there some language about like you can jump 2 corrals?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I have the number 2 in my head for some reason. So like I think it was different then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now it becomes like if you're a person who is going to do multiple events, really enjoys the events, wants to take your time, you don't have to worry about signing up, you don't have to worry about proof of time. These are the events you like to do, and this is what makes you happy and you enjoy it. Like I can see why like it's worth it to you.
I mean, that's why I wanted to talk to somebody who had actually signed up for it, because I hadn't known anyone or realized I knew anyone until today. And so, why did you sign up for it originally? Well, originally I only signed up for the smaller tier is because they gave me a bunch of stuff. But then once you start realizing that there is actual benefit to it, it's like, okay, well, maybe it is worth it. So now with these announcements today of the things that they've taken away as far as, early registration and then the faster proof of time, do more people start considering joining Club Run Disney?
I still don't like that they created a scenario where it makes it that much more attractive. Like, I don't blame anybody for signing up for this.
Yeah.
Like, now that we're talking through this, and I'll be honest, if we're going to do Dopey...
Oh, if we're doing Dopey, we're doing Club Run Disney.
We're going to stack the deck. And
I'm saying it right now. I don't know what to tell you.
You could just pay for us to run the race.
I'm just gonna throw money at the problem.
Or if anybody named Chop Karate wants to get me a sub
don't
2.
Don't put that in.
I'm kidding.
Michael, you have to edit that out. Don't put that in there.
All right, fine. I thought it was funny.
No, it's not funny, because then we're going to get a marathon investigator.
Oh, God, yes.
Like, it's not funny.
Okay.
Like,
fine.
I hate that guy.
I feel like we really should just leave this in.
So yeah, we're 100% signing up.
Yeah.
All right. So it is what it is. I mean, right now, unless I've decided that I was going to do a bunch of other races, it's not worth it for me, and that's what it is.
But I can see why it is to some
proof of time still pisses me off, but whatever. So what does this mean for all of you guys? Does this mean anything for any of us as far as what we're doing?
I don't know. It's stressful. I was in the place where I was doing probably 2 Run Disney events a year, and I kind of faded from that. So I don't know if it's going to change like how often we go. I don't know. I like doing at least one a year, but we already said we're not doing one in 2022 because we're going to Disney for other things. So
yeah.
Like that was already on the table, so that's not changing. So I guess we'll see.
We've always said that we booked for marathon weekend, so we're going. The question is, can we both get into the marathon? It's going to be stressful.
Yeah, usually the marathon's the easiest.
I don't think it's going to matter this year. I think it's going to be stressful that day.
Are you guys going to do Dopey or just the marathon?
No, just the marathon.
Yeah.
I'm actually not even going for Goofy for that reason, because I think that Goofy the challengers are going to sell out faster. And so I don't even think I'm going to go for Goofy, because I don't want a chance not getting, like, going for Goofy, not getting it in, and then having to go over to the marathon and hope the marathon hasn't sold out. Yeah. So I'm going straight for the marathon.
I think they're probably banking that all of these events are going to sell out.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Oh yeah. Well, people are hungry for races. Like they just wanna get out there and do it. Well, and it's funny. I've even seen on some of the pages that I'm part of, people that have never done Run Disney are like, I have a trip planned in November, and it looks like it overlaps with Wine and Dine. Should I sign up? What is it? Like, so now, like,
oh God,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like you
Back
just
to normal.
and like the comments are so cruel. Like they're just
that's sad. But
Oh, man.
spend a little time in the AP comments, and you'll
Yeah.
I
have
don't know.
a
I
good
keep
time.
getting banned from these Facebook
Oh my
groups.
gosh.
So
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why AP and DVC could be a little sore, but guys, in the end, people are angry. They're still going to do it. They're going to go on this page.
I mean, it's not like we got a discount for AP.
Yeah,
and
they're
DVC.
going to complain about it for a while, and then they're still just going to go give Disney their money. So
100% happens every time.
I have thoughts, but I'm not even going to complain about me not being able to get early registration for AP. In the end, the AP is still worth it to me because I go enough to Disney enough days that it makes it worth it without even having a single extra perk. Yeah. The rest of the perks are just perks.
To me, it's
trips, it pays for itself.
Yeah.
It's the one expensive road race I'll do a year. That's it.
Yeah.
It's probably the only marathon I'll do a year, you know?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, what's the lesson here?
Because they're too short.
We're still going to do Run Disney, and we're still going to begrudgingly pay for everything, but we'll still go and have really great times and be excited. We'll just get really mad on registration day when we swipe our card.
That's
exactly.
pretty much it.
And it, just like it is every other year.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Well, one of the things, it is funny, one of the things that we were talking about, we were thinking about doing kind of a long weekend next year with some friends, and we're like, if we're going to have to pay all this for Run Disney, are we going to be able to do like an extra like long weekend?
Yeah.
I don't know. So like that kind of stuff.
That does add into it.
We'll have to like prioritize like which Run Disney events we do.
Understandable. All right.
So that's it. We wanted to give you guys our hot takes real quick.
And if you're new and just joining us for the first time, we'll have a new episode next Monday called Inside Runner Studio with our friend Lisa. And then our next episode is the week next Monday after that.
Yeah. Let's just push Lisa again.
Just keep doing it.
They're just trolling. They're trolling Lisa. We got a bunch of trolls here.
We recorded her in like December, didn't we?
It was a while ago.
It was a while ago.
It was a long time ago.
But that day we did like 10 of them.
people, yeah.
To be fair.
And if you're just listening, also go back a few days ago. We had a regular episode where we heard about Tom's swimming event. So
and previewed us whether or not we were going to die in the canyon.
Oh yeah,
Spoiler
the
alert.
next episode we didn't die. We'll tell you that.
I was going to say spoiler alert. We're recording right now, so we didn't die.
We're not dead.
But
it's interesting.
Apparently, it was rough.
It was interesting.
Guys, they haven't even told us what happens because they want to do it. They want to do it live so they can see me react like a lunatic.
You have no idea. All right.
All right. Let me close this out. So, big news today from Run Disney. We know everybody was waiting very patiently, and we know it probably made a lot of people happy. So you gotta remember that no matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true.
Will come true.
Oh my gosh!
I love Run Disney, guys. I'm actually excited.
I'm excited.
I just don't want to pay for it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.